Morning. It's Tuesday. It's dark. It's cold. That means it must be morning in the UK, right? Right. Yeah. Yeah, so we had a game last night. We, as I predicted, reset the timeline. Basically, this was session 7, and we reset ourselves basically to the end of session 2, beginning of session 3. So we basically wiped out the last 4 sessions from ever having occurred through the use of an NPC from Queen Mab's court who was well versed in Chronos. The group are actually not 100% aware that anything has happened. The players are, obviously, but their characters simply don't remember any of it. They have a nagging feeling of something going wrong in the moment, but no detail on why. And the game has now spun off in another direction, which hopefully will be less insane than the last one. Basically, we're looking at, they have still just released the dragon, Figment. This time, upon exiting the dreaming, Victor vanished. He was not with them. A few other things have been altered, which they're unaware of at the moment. Some of which the players would have had reason to figure out and maybe didn't notice or didn't comment on, and others which they have no idea. For one, upon exiting the dreaming this time, it was still daylight out. So something was a bit wonky with time there. That means that whereas last time they came out in the evening, this time they came out during the day. That does also mean that the vampire sisters were not there to greet them, and that instead they continued walking down Main Street and met up with another changeling who was a member of the previous court, who had been exiled, who had some information about Figment, actually. They spoke with him. They made their way over to the Tiki Room, where they met with the Ali Batin Jubo, and had a interesting prophecy session with him. Got a lot more information than they had previously about some events that happened on the day that everyone vanished, and got some prophecy and some information about what Figment was doing now that he's free. And that was basically the session. It took us quite a bit of time to kind of cover off the backtracking and where we were and what we were doing and what was going on. Then, of course, we had a character introduction to do, which took a bit of time. You don't want to rush that, really. You want the character to bed in a bit. And it was a shorter than normal session due to some other... due to some other real-life circumstances with the players. So overall, good session. I think we are back on track. And I think we're back to being able to kind of play the game that I had originally been planning for us. Rather than the kind of Mad World style changeling that we had fallen into. So I'm looking forward to next week. We'll see where it goes this time around. Until then, like, subscribe. I'll be back tomorrow with some more talk. Don't know what about yet. I might do something strange and talk about something completely off topic. Or I might discuss maybe one of the characters or NPCs or something from the game. We'll see. I might not decide until I'm actually filming it. Until then, like, subscribe, and try your best to have a great Tuesday. See you tomorrow.